Hey guys, and welcome back on my YouTube channel. It's your boy Troll, and in today's video we're gonna discuss about all the mistakes I did because I was stupid and a newbie, complete noob. And basically in this video I'm gonna go through all the mistakes I did just so you don't have to do them as well, and explain you why is it a mistake and how did it affect my account directly. So without any further ado, let's jump into the first issue. So, first of all, when it comes to the spells in the game, you can enchant them. What do I mean by enchanting is basically you can make that a specific gear has more, I don't know how to call them, slots? Or, yeah, it's slots, I think. Like those edges, colored edges. And basically, to do so, you need to enchant your skill with those things here. I don't even know what's the name, but this here. And basically, when you do so, as you can see, you will change the position randomly. You maybe increase or decrease the number of the slots. And obviously, the colors might also change. It's completely randomized. And obviously, getting more than 3-4 slots, it's extremely rare and very lucky, to be quite honest. So, the issue here is I really don't recommend, and that was something I did, is to try and enchant directly the spell you are using. Because let's say I would use this one right now. So this is my main spell. If I change it right now, and by using all the material I have, I don't manage to get something better, but also I get something worse, or I don't get the colors I wanted, you might completely ruin your account because you will not simply not have the spell anymore. Like for example, if I change this one right now, I might lose the blue link, and because of that, I will not be able to connect with the toxic spell. So again, I will not be able to perform well. So what I really recommend is enchanting one spell, trying to get it better than the one you currently have, and then potentially go back and enchant the main one. So at least if something goes wrong, you always have a backup. Now again, you won't be like you won't have to enchant hundreds of spell. You should only focus on the ones you are like using right now for your specific build. Now obviously this is for beginners. Late game you're gonna do that on every single spell and try to build something new, something different. That's a different story. But at the very beginning, since those materials are limited, especially if you are free to play, the risk is very high. So make sure you enchant your first spell, you get what you want, luckily, hopefully, and from there, not to ruin your whole build, use a different spell. It will just avoid you, believe me, a lot of raging. I use my main spell. I forgot that if I do that, well, yes, I can get something better, but I can also use the colors I have. And at the moment when I did that, I didn't have so many materials. So I was stuck, and I basically, this was the point when I restarted a new character because I learned about that mistake. So again, I really advise you, if you are free to play, and especially if you are beginning, if you want to increase the links of your spell, do it, but then any other changes or attempts, try to do it on a different one so it will not screw you up. Now again, why I'm saying it's only for the beginners, it's basically because later in the game you will increase the quality of your spells. So obviously you won't have necessarily two spells of the same quality for the same spell. So at the very beginning, you can still play around by using two different spells because the spells you're gonna get are white. But later in the game, hopefully you're gonna have blue, epic, legendary skills. So again, this is very for beginners only. But anyway, this is all for the spells and the links. Let's jump into mistake number 2. So when you start playing the game or even mid-game, obviously you're gonna loot a lot of blues or white gear. And instinctively you're gonna want to enchant all of them and just get everything yellow or the best you can because you just want to directly improve your gear. However, the enchantment for blue items, it's still easy to get, but from the moment you go on yellow items, it starts to be very not painful because you can still get them, but they are very, very rare. So it's way better not to focus on yellow items early game, but only later on when leveling up is not so easy. What do I mean is early game, let's say level 10, you're gonna go get a blue item. Then you use your material to push it to yellow. That's great, you're gonna be more powerful. But within just what, 10, 20 minutes, you're gonna be already level 15. And you're gonna get another weapon level 15. And then you're gonna do it again to yellow. And eventually you're gonna run out of resource materials to enchant. And believe me, late game, you know, you're gonna need plenty of them to get the right statistics you want. So what I really recommend for the first 40, 50 levels, if you get a yellow, great. You can enchant it and go for some nice statistics. However, if you have blue or white, just go for blue, enchant it the max you can, and just keep it like that. You will eventually loot yellow gear. Don't worry, you will get yellow gear at one point. So just don't waste your resources to basically go from blue to yellow for every single piece of gear. It's not worth it. Yes, it's a little buff in your progress, but overall you will have to go back to blue eventually, since you're gonna run out of resources as a free to play. Like I said, they are not limited, but it's not that easy to farm those either. So this is very important as well. For the first 30 or 45 levels, I had mainly blue items, because either the yellows I looted were not good for me, or basically I just did not want to enchant from blue to yellow. By also having most of your items blue at the beginning, it will also give you basically more chances to get the statistics you want, because the blue items, the blue enchant items you need to reroll are way easy to get, so you have way more chances to get the stats you want. So again, I would really advise you to wait before going all in and making every single item yellow. It's really not worth it. Your gear will change all the time, constantly, especially at the beginning, a little bit less mid game. Therefore, once you are in end game or late mid game, that's when you start gonna enchant your items into yellow, because it's not so likely you're gonna change it very fast. So the advice is do not push everything to yellow at the beginning of the game, and keep your resources. Now, another problem I had is we are limited in terms of the bag spaces, basically the space we have in our bags. So once my storage was full, basically what I was doing, I was literally just taking some of the stuff and either throwing it away or selling. This was the case, for example, with all the materials for blue enchantment gear. Like, you very quickly you're gonna get 30, 60, 90, etc. It will start taking a lot of space. However, instead of selling, and I really don't recommend to sell anything, not the skills, not the stones, anything. Why? Because there are two solutions in this game to basically allow you to gain storage as a free to play. First of all, we're gonna get plenty of skills and skill stones during the game from quests, etc., or even loot them. So instead of just, storing them in your storage or selling them or dropping because you don't use a skill right now or you don't need it right now, first of all, one of the solution is to basically go into the item compendium and store your spells you don't need in the compendium. As you can see, you basically just store all the spells here, and it goes for the same for the stones. You can store all the stones here, blue, yellow, whatever. As you can see, green, blue, everything. And then if you need it one day, you can just come back and boom, you take it out. And it doesn't take space, it doesn't regress it, nothing. As you can see, I have a level 13 illusion axe spell. I just put it here. When I need it, I come back and I take it out. And boom, it's still level 13. So it's a free storage. Now, yes, it will also give you some bonuses the more spells you put in here, but it's also a free storage you can use for a lot of things, either items or spells or whatever. There's plenty of things you can store here. So that's number one. Number two, there's a different solution to gain storage as well. As you know, we can create up to 3 characters. All the characters, the storage is linked. So if I go, for example, on my level 30, my first account, you can see that the storage is linked. And why I'm telling you this is because you can create 3 characters. You can come and open your storage, and you can basically take everything into your bag. from the moment you have a level 1 or 2 and you are in a city, you have a potential 100 place storage for free. All you need to do is just relog, you're gonna put them back in, or you're gonna take out something you don't need, etc. Yes, it is some storage management, like, backpack management, but at the end of the day, you have 100 spaces for free. But you can also do another character, so in total, you're gonna have 200. As you can see, I just have a level 3 that I'm not going to play for now, but all I did was just to create her, so I have more space in my storage. So it's also very beneficial to do those two characters. Just play 10 minutes, do the entry quest, whatever, and then you're gonna have 100 space for free. So it's very important you don't drop anything in this game. Everything can be useful, everything can be used. You just need to understand how. And if you don't have the space, well, here you have two solutions to increase your space as a free-to-play. So another problem that I did, and basically also I had to restart an account because is you can level up your spells. So for example, let's take this spell. As you can see, it's level 18 now. And if I push it just a little bit, boom, it's level 19. However, what I did not know at the time on my other account is when you increase the level of the spell, you also gonna increase the level required for that spell. What's the problem? Well, the problem is if you go too far and you increase it too much, for example, let's do this. You can see that if you increase it too much, you're gonna increase it so much that you won't even have the level to use the spell. And actually, if you don't scroll down, you won't really see it. So it's very important for all your spells, whenever you're gonna level up, make sure that after you leveled up, you can still use it, because then you use all your materials to level up a spell, and then you're gonna basically finish without a spell, without nothing, and you can't do anything. So this mistake made me to remake my character, because I just didn't have the materials, gold, or even a way to farm, since my main spell was dead. So it's very important you watch out for that. Now it comes for the spells, but it also comes for the runes. As you can see, there's also a level requirement for the runes. Now it's way more easier to see it, but you also need to watch out whenever you're gonna level up your runes that you don't go over your limit so the runes doesn't become inactive. It's also very important, so make sure when you level up, you just go to the max you can, and it will not disable the rune in your skill page. Now, another thing I did not know about is whenever you're gonna progress in your campaign, at one point, obviously you're gonna hit a wall. What I mean on a wall is that either the mobs don't take enough of damage or you die pretty fast. Now, my problem was not the damage, my problem was that I was dying super fast. And basically what I thought is that I have to level up more, get more levels, better gear to progress. However, it's not only the problem. If you go into your waypoint, and let's say you're gonna want to go to a specific place, and I don't know, for farm or for your quest, you will see that every single of them will show you what resistance requirement it needs. For example, if we go to Act 5, you're gonna need cold, and it shows you how many cold resistance recommended, so you basically don't get one-shotted, especially by the bosses. Right now, for example, I am in Act 7, so I focus on physical resistance, and therefore it doesn't show in red. However, if I go back to 6, I don't have the fire resistance anymore. And the higher and higher you're gonna go in the game, those resistance will be crucial if you don't want to get one-shotted by one spell of the boss. Now, it's not impossible to finish. For example, Act 5, I did finish without the frost requirement, but I can tell you that on one of the bosses, I think it was Christian, it took me 1 hour and I had to make it on a perfection and not get hit once in order to survive it. So again, make sure you increase your resistance. That's why I also said it's better to use blue gear at the very beginning, because you can easily change the resistance of your gear. What do I mean? Well, let's say you have a blue gear. Again, the blue gear items to enchant are very easy to get. So let's take a helmet. You're just gonna use this. Then obviously we're gonna try to go till 3 rolls, whatever. But then let's say this is your helmet right now and you have fire resistance because you were on a specific chapter. Well, by using just this, and since they are not very rare, you can easily go from fire to poison, physical, etc. So you can adapt your gear to a specific chapter pretty fast and very cheap. That's why I'm saying that early or even mid game, it's just better sometimes to have blue gear. Unless you are very lucky with the yellow gear, or if you get it from the game itself, I just don't recommend to going all in on your items before you hit the end game and when you actually start to farm for end game gear. At the very beginning, it's just not worth it. But yeah, guys, that's it for now. If you enjoy, if it helped you, make sure to leave a comment. I will try to make more videos about the game. I really got hooked on it. I just played whenever I can. So yeah, in the next video I will show you my build that basically I am using and you can also use from 0 to 150. It's the most free to play easy build you can have. So if you want to see the video and whatever, I mean, see when it comes out, make sure to follow, like, and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Ciao, guys.